Since 1941, more than 2.5 million fans have heeded the advice of Harry Carey and have clicked the turnstiles to see the stars of tomorrow. Over 100 Jamestown players have graduated to the big show, with Nellie Fox being the only one to go from Jamestown to Cooperstown. Many of the stars left Jamestown and found their way up to the AAA, the closest you can get to the major leagues. One of those was Jamestown's own Lyle Parkhurst. And here is his story. Lyle Parkhurst was born December 18th, 1924. He came to Jamestown when he was 4 years old. He attended Love Grade School and Washington Junior High, entering senior high school in 1941. Lyle pitched for Collins Sports Shop in the American Legion team in 1939 and 1940, with the Crescent AC and Spiders Muni Class A leagues teams, and for the Poland Center in the Chautauqua County League, before becoming involved with the Jamestown Falcons. How did that occur?
At that time, I was going to junior high school up here at Washington, and Coach Rubens was the coach. And well, you know as well as I do that the American Legion only played 6 or 7 ball games in the year, and that wasn't enough to get them done in 1 week. And so I wasn't satisfied or happy with that, so I came down here and asked Mr. Bisgeyer and Greg Mulleavy if I could throw batting practice for them. Well, being a left-handed pitcher, they didn't like that because they have trouble with left-handed pitchers, you know, and the more they can get out there and throw batting practice for them, the better off they are. So he told me that I could, and so I came and I pitched batting practice for them every night that they were home. Sometimes I went on the road with them. Yeah, it wasn't, I'd go to Erie or someplace like that, see. And this was during the summer months. And when school started, they had to go back to school, you know. But that's how it started. And
on August 16th, 1941, Harry Bisgeyer signed Lyle Parkhurst to a Jamestown contract. The price, $65 per month. Though he did not pitch during the 1941 season, he did learn an awful lot.
Anything else from the other ball players. See, I had that season when I could throw batting practice and then sit in the dugout and listen to the guys when they were talking about different ball players and how they hit through to them and about this and about that. And they talk baseball, see, and I sit there and I listen to them. And now, if he can do that, I can do it too, you know. And I practice on what I learned from these guys.
Here's Lyle next to manager Greg Mulleavy in a 1942 team shot.
I had 13 and 8 the first year I played. I went to spring training with him that year. Took my books with me from school and went to spring
Took your
training.
books. Did you open them when you got there?
No, I sat on them. No, I went to 11th grade in school, and then I didn't do it no more, and I didn't graduate, that's all. But my first strike I had, first strikeout I had, I thought they were coming right out of the stands.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Sunday afternoon, I think it was the second or the third ball game of the year. Second game. And Jake Pittner was up here with his club. And they had a big first baseman, Lou Rutcher, big, tall, lanky fellow, left-hand hitter, good, strong fellow. And I downed the bullpen, and Mulleavy told me, he says, get ready. So I threw about 10 pitches, and I'm ready to go, you know. So I got in there, and I threw a couple of pitches to him, and he fouled them off, and then I threw a curveball in the dirt and struck him out to the third out, see. Well, in the stands, he could holler. Lou Brown, remember Lou Brown? He's sitting up there. Boy, I'm telling you, he had a field day on that, you know. I enjoyed that. That was something I'll never forget.
Okay.
on that same 1942 team was Johnny Newman. What's that mean to you, Lyle? When you hear the name Johnny Newman, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Him flying, he was, Johnny Newman, he used to hit baseballs that the shortstop used to jump for and just missed on the end of the glove and up and out. They used to go. But I'll never forget old John. He's always talking about being a left fielder. See, he's a left fielder. He had to be a left fielder. He caught, and they put him on the mound a few times to throw knuckleballs, you know. And John, he was a good ball player. He was a hustler, but he was one of these kind of guys that would pull a string on you, and he would play with you a little bit. And but when it got down to business, he was there, you know. And they had him out in left field one night, and it was kind of a rough night, and the bugs were flying around, you know, and the bats were up there chomping on these bugs going, and some guy hit I'll never forget, he hit a fly ball to left field, and John, he's watching it come down, you know, and the bat followed it down, and the bat went way and way, and he went the other, and he followed the bat instead of the ball, and it landed over here, and the bat went on its way, you know, and there's the ball over there. Johnny ran over and picked it up. The guy got a triple out of it. When he got back in the dugout, he'd been better off going right on through, see. But they all the dickens out of it because he's a pretty good man with writing people too, see. But John was a good ball player.
The night the Jamestown Falcons won the playoff championship against Olean in 1942, the Falcons had trailed 8-3 going into the ninth inning. After 2 were out, the Falcons scored 7 runs and won the game. Olean manager Jake Pittler was so angry, he battered a hole clean through their wooden dugout, with his head no less. This particular incident came to the attention of Frank Hyde 20 years later. In the August 19th, 1961 Frankly Speaking column, Frank Hyde reported, Jake Pittler saddled up to Lyle Parkhurst at Olean and hissed, "When you were pitching, you were always yelling for the strike. Now, why the hell don't you give it?" The old port side flinger with Jamestown and other baseball stoopovers back when the game never heard of special nights to survive just grinned. Go stick your head through another dugout wall. Besides, things are different now. I'm making a living on the other side of the tracks. At the time, 1961, Jake Pittler was a scout for the Dodgers, and Lyle Parkhurst was an umpire in the New York Penn League. At age 19, Lyle Parkhurst was elevated to the highest minor league level, the Buffalo Bisons, where he had a 3.57 ERA while losing 3 games. He was used mainly in relief with the Bisons. The 1944 season saw Lyle returning home with the Jamestown Falcons and had his greatest year in professional baseball. The 44 program continued to encourage all citizens to buy war bonds and stamps. They also encouraged fan support. A toast to the 44 Falcons. The Falcons were tops in 42. A new stadium, no war, and Mulleavy true. In 43, it wasn't too hot. Poor Jack Sanford was sure on the spot. Let's all get behind Carnegie once more and go pennant hunting in 44. Thanks, George and Al. Or saw Harry Bisgeier return from his Army tenure due to the 38-year rule to reclaim his lease at Municipal Stadium from the St. Louis Cardinals. The team was managed by Buffalo Bisons great Ali Carnegie and was spearheaded by pitcher Lyle Parkhurst. Lyle had a fabulous 1944 season, and we'll be learning more about that shortly. He has recollections of a 16-year-old player who joined the team, known as Nellie Fox. Fox was signed from Connie Mack's Philadelphia farm team, and Harry Bisgar at the time said, "This kid will go to the majors someday because he will just naturally fight his way up there."
Opportunity to play with what probably we hope will be and should be the first Hall of Famer out of the Jamestown Falcons and out of the Pony League, or out of Jamestown Falcons, Nellie Fox.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean to you, Nellie
Well,
Fox?
to this day, I don't understand where these people would come up with their statistics about him not being in the Hall of Fame. Because to me, if there's anybody should be there, Nellie should be there.
Well, how about playing in the minor leagues with him? Did you realize then that he was...
Oh, yeah, because Nellie, he was quick on his feet, and he had a good pair of hands, and he was learning the game of baseball at the time, and he played every position but pitch. Every position but pitch and catch. He was in the outfield. I love him in the outfield. But I'd throw pitches in there that I'd make mistakes on, and I knew that if he was in center field, he'd track the darn thing down. And he did. And but he good ball player, good heady ball player, team ball player.
Could he hit?
Oh yeah, he's one of those punch hitters, you know. And if he needed to hit him in the hole someplace, he'd hit it in the hole someplace. Give himself up so that he could hit it in the hole. Yeah, good team ball
Now,
player.
you played with him here in Jamestown.
Yes, sir.
Any place else?
No.
You never
Oh yes, against him.
played against him?
At Lincoln, he was at Lincoln, Nebraska, in the Philly organization. That's where I got that hat.
Out?
Oh yeah, I got him out. And how I used to get him out? Throw right down the middle with nothing on him.
Nothing.
Because he's always looking for one out there, one in here, one up there, you know, so he could punch it. But when you throw it down the middle, then he had to hit up through the middle, and we had him all boxed in. He got a few base hits, but I get him out pretty well. Yeah. When he came here to visit, he came to the house, you know, and we had supper together. Nellie's a good ball player, good man. Good man. Myron Joe Ginsberg. Now there was a character. I'll tell you, you know.
A good game. Did he call your games when you were pitching, or did you call your game?
No, he did. I didn't call my ball games. It was if they got base hits, it was the catcher's fault, not mine.
Aside from being a character, Myron Joe Ginsberg was a Major League Baseball player. He played for more than 12 years and has some awful fond recollections of Nellie Fox.
Us, as I said, were really the younger group of players that were signed by the Tigers. Jamestown had a working agreement with the Philadelphia Athletics at the time, and that's how we came to have Nellie Fox, who probably was one of the best second basemen of all time in the American League. Nellie was with the Athletics at the time, and he was sent down to Jamestown by the legendary Connie Mack, who said at one time that Nellie would probably be one of the best center fielders they ever had when he grows up. But Nellie, as you know, never got to be more than 5'7" or 8", and did wind up at second base being one of the best second basemen.
All right, everybody, let's warm up. Stand up for a 7-minute stretch.
That's Pony League Championship by beating Lockport 4-0. Along the way, Nellie Fox would bat a .304, one of the top hitters in the league. But the real story of 1944 belonged to Lyle Parkhurst. Lyle Parkhurst ended the 1944 season with 20 wins and 10 losses and an ERA of 2.37. But that fact alone did not capture the attention of the sporting news in 1944. Let's hear the story.
Yeah, that was right at the tail end of the season. They were trying to get in the playoffs.
What year?
44.
44. Who was the manager?
Bucky Harris. No. It wasn't Bucky Harris. It was...
Ollie? Is it Ollie Carnegie?
No.
44?
Carnegie was our manager.
Okay, I see.
Carnegie was our manager here. We played him here 2 ball games at the end of the season, Labor Day. And I had 18 wins at the time, 18 and 10. And it was my turn to pitch the next to last day. And so I did. And I shut him out. And that made 19. And I was good enough to be ahead of the hitters enough time, so I didn't work that much. I didn't throw too many, you know. And so the next day, I asked Ollie, I said, hey, Ollie, you know, I said, that 20th win would look great. I said, you know, I said, I didn't work too hard yesterday. I said, how about letting me work today? Well, he didn't know. He had talked with this guy, you know, you know. And so he come back and he said, yeah, he said, go ahead and do it if you want. I said, but he said, if you get in trouble, he said, I'm going to get you out there. 6th inning it rained. We're ahead of 2-0. I got the 20th win, and they lost their ball game, and they lost their playoff spot too. That's the big thing over there at Erie.
That's why it was fun.
Yes, it was. I enjoyed that.
The city of Jamestown was presented its 2nd Governor's Cup by manager Ollie Carnegie. They had won in 1942. Each of the players received $300 extra bonus. 1945 would find Lyle back in Jamestown when here he is seen with Harry Bisgeier. During his half season with the team, he was 11-4. The Lyle Parkhurst pitching record in Jamestown closed out that year. And what 3 years they were. Fans would not long forget. After Lyle departed from Jamestown with that remarkable record, he pitched throughout the minor leagues from 1946 through 1954, pitching in such places as Asheville in the Tri-State League, Pueblo, Colorado, and ultimately ending his minor league career in Olean of the Pony League in 1954. That year he was juggling working in the day at Weber Knapp with playing in the evening with the Dodgers affiliate Olean.
Who could not imagine the Cardinals without Harry Carey, any more than they could imagine the team without Stan Musial. He got his 3,000th hit, one of your most famous calls on radio right here.
I can see it now, Mo Drabowski pitching. And Musial was down the bullpen catching the sun because they're saving him for tomorrow so they could get the 3,000th hit in St. Louis before the hometown fan. But now the Cardinals are losing 2-1, 2 men on base, and Fred Hutchinson, the manager, waves down the stand to come in and pinch hit. Hutch wanted him to get the 3,000th hit in St. Louis too, but he also wanted to win the ball game at Wrigley Field.
Here's the pitch. Line drive, there it is! Into left field! Hit number 3,000! A run is scored! Musial around first! On his way to second with a double! Holy cow, he came through!
2 runs scored, and Stan again turned defeat and victory with 1 swing of his bat. Great man, great guy.
Having Harry announce it, he made it thrilling, and I listened to the replays about the 3,000 hits and what went on, you know, and it was really exciting. So Harry, I'm sure he really enjoyed it, and of course, I did too.
Also called Musial's last at-bat in 1963.
Remember the stance. And the swing. You're not likely to see his likes again. The pitch to Musial. A hot shot on the ground into right field, a base hit. Here's throw around third. Here's a no throw. The Cardinals lead 1-0. Listen to the crowd. Now listen, Gary Kolb is going to replace Musial.
Not to be outdone, Lyle Parkhurst has his own story about the great Stan Musial.
How many years?
42, 44, and half of 45.
And then where?
Then I went to Asheville, North Carolina.
What league was that
Went to
in?
spring training at Mobile, and that was where we had spring training at Mobile, and that Dodger organization, and they played, the Cardinals come in there and played an exhibition game. They had Musial and Verban and those guys on the ball club. And that was one of my big thrills, is I was supposed to pitch the last 4 innings of that ball game. And so I did. And down there, they had I pitched against Musial, and I got ahead of him. I had 2 strikes and a ball on him. And the catcher, he wanted me to throw another curveball. And I shook him off, and he hollered out, and he said, "You'll be sorry." But I shook him off, and he would come back with a curveball, you know. And down there, they had a fence down there that was 365 down the right field line. Then it went to 390 to right center. And behind that, they had a runway, pavement runway where semis would go in and one would come out, you know. And beyond that, they had a big pulley works. And on top of that was a nice big black roof. And he hit that sucker, that curveball. It just nicely got started going up as it went out of the ballpark.
Landed on the roof, huh?
Right on top of the roof it landed. And I watched him go around there, you know, and they had the Major League umpires there because they were playing Major League ball club, see. And he said, "That's all right, young man." He said he does it with the best of them. I come to find out that he did.
Yeah.
But that was one of the highlights for me as far as I'm concerned. I enjoyed that.
He's had a magnificent pitching career and also an extremely distinguished umpiring career, which he still accomplishes to this day. He's also been known for his flamboyance. Here, 1941 bat boy Jack Gallagher and 1941 first baseman Frank Heller comment on Lyle Parkhurst.
I never will forget, when you were in 43, Frank was playing with Buffalo, and Parky was playing with Buffalo. And I was a kid, I was just, you know, we all went up to Buffalo to take our physicals, pre-induction physicals, then you pass your physical, say I do, and 2 weeks later you get on the goddamn train and you're gone. So Mulleavy and always said, "Now, before you go, you come up and see us." So I went up there, and he took me in the clubhouse in Offerman Stadium. And there was Frank, ranting and raving like he usually does. "Gallagher, come here." He said, "This son of a bitch," and he's pointing to Parky. He says he saw a high school kid drop kick a football 96 yards in Jamestown. Now tell me it ain't so. God damn it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
One time in spring training, somebody asked Lyle, he said, "Is it a big jump from the D-League to AAA?" He said, "No, it's only 70 miles from Buffalo."
Ballots were distributed. The votes were counted for the all-time player Jamestown professional baseball during its 50th anniversary. And for the first time, we're pleased to announce the results. Leading vote getter for those players playing for during the period 1939 through 1969, you see it, Lyle Parkhurst, first. Nellie Fox, second. Johnny Newman, third. Congratulations, Lyle.
Tonight, of course, played for Jamestown back in 1942, 44, and 45 as a pitcher. We have Al Taylor here, played for Jamestown in 1953 and 50.